Hi, this is Mrs. McGrath, and this is the metric system lesson. I wanted to show you this view because we're going to be using Google Slide Notes and videos for several of our lessons throughout the year. You will always have a link to the notes so you can go back and review if you wanted to get some more detail or if the video went too fast, and feel free to pause the video so that you can jot everything down as needed as well. Most of the notes, actually all of the notes, are going to be best viewed in present mode. So if you click on present here, it will bring you to a full screen slide, which allows you to take it step by step as I would be walking you through in the video. So, the metric system, what is it? Essentially, it is a system that gives our measurements or our numbers meaning or value. And in the case of science, we always use the metric system. So, for measuring length, we're going to measure in meters, not inches or feet. The reason being is that the metric system, using meters, is used universally throughout science. So it does not matter what country a person is in that you're communicating with. If I say I have 3 meters of something, they know exactly what that means without having to do any conversions. For mass, our base unit is grams. For volume, we're going to use liters. Time is measured in seconds. Current is measured in amperes. Temperature in kelvins, and if we're measuring the amount of a substance, like how much fits in a unit, I'll explain this more when we get to our chemistry section, you're going to be using moles. So when I refer to a base unit, I'm talking about these standard measurements. This means there's no zeros before or behind the decimal point. This is just your standard initial measurement. So, if we're talking about converting our base measurements into larger or smaller numbers based on what we're measuring, we have to know the process of moving up or down a scale. So let's say I have 67 centimeters. If I am wanting to convert that to meters, so I have centimeters, which means meters is my base unit, and centi means I'm 2 points behind the decimal point. So I could say I have 67 centimeters, or if I move that over 2 decimals, I would have 0.67 meters. So if you're wanting to make a unit larger, you're going to, so like I did with centi and moved up to regular full meters, you're going to move your decimal to the left, which means you're dividing. So centi is 1/100th. I'm dividing that 67 by 100. And that's how I get 0.67 meters. We'll go through this a little bit more in just a minute. If you're wanting to make it smaller, you're going to move your decimal point to the right. So let's say I was talking about kilometers. I have 1,500 kilometers, and I want to figure out how many meters that is. Well, I'm going to move my decimal 1, 2, 3 back down to my meters base unit. So let's look at this in exponents. It might help it make a little bit more sense. When we're talking prefixes that mean smaller than a whole number or behind to the right of the decimal point, they're going to end in I. So as you can see, deci is 1/10 of a whole number, centi is 1/100th of a whole number, and milli is 1/1000th of a whole number, or it can also be expressed in 10 to the negative 1, negative 2, or negative 3, as you learned with your scientific notation. If we're talking about numbers that are larger than 1 or a whole number, then we're looking at in the positive exponents. So deca is referring to 10 times 1. Hecto is referring to 100, and kilo is referring to 1,000. So you've heard the term decade. Decade means 10 years. So you have 10 times 1, the base unit in that case would be years, so you have decade. We talked about centimeters before. If I had 67 centimeters, that means I am really 0.67 of a whole. I don't even have a whole meter. I have less than a whole meter. So, memorize these prefixes and the symbols because you won't always see it written out as kilometers. It'll just be km, or millimeters would be mm. It's always important to know how to move larger and smaller, so you need to know them in order. If I was wanting to move up from centimeters to decameters, I would have to multiply by 10, right? Because I've got 100 here, or 1/100th, and I've got 1/10 here. The exponential distance is talking about those zeros in between. So if I'm wanting to convert something from millimeters up to decimeters, I'm going to have to move 2 decimal points to get to the same place value. And always remember our rule for significant figures. We're only holding ourselves to 2 points behind the decimal, so two decimal points of significance for this class. If we were in a more complex or more advanced class, we would be a little bit more detailed, like chemistry, but this is just an introduction, so stick with 2 decimal places. Alright, so let's do some practice. Go ahead and get your notes out. You should have been taking notes this whole time, and go ahead and write down the first practice problem. Your goal is to convert 1,500 millimeters to kilometers. And so if we go back, millimeters, we're 3 points behind the decimal point. Kilometers is times 1,000, so that's going to be 3 points after the decimal. So if we have 1,500, first of all, in order to convert it to kilometers, we're talking negative decimal numbers here, and we're getting into the positive exponents here. We want to get to our base unit first. So if we have 1,500 millimeters, let's take it to meters. If our decimal point was here, millimeter is 3 places behind the decimal, so we're going to move it 3 to the left. So we go 1, 2, 3. So from millimeters to meters, we have 1.5 meters. That's not what they asked. They asked us for kilometers. So if you look at kilometers, that's 1,000 times a meter. So we have to go 3 more decimal places. So we'd go 1, 2, 3 if there were numbers there. So our answer ends up being 0.0015 kilometers. Now we could write it that way, but that gets a little messy, especially if we had a lot more zeros. So let's use scientific notation to convert it. And remember, with scientific notation, we're going to move that decimal back past the first whole number that's not a 0. So we'd move it 1 place, 2 places, 3 places. So we'd have 1.5 kilometers, but we can't forget all these decimal points that were here. So it's times 10 to the negative third, because we moved to the right 3 places of the decimal. So 1.5 times 10 to the negative third kilometers. All right, let's try number 2. Go ahead and write down 2,390 grams to kilograms. So if we remember from our chart, kilograms is 1,000 times the base number. So if we are multiplying, or if it's a value of 1,000 and we have grams here, we're actually going to divide by 1,000, right? Because we're trying to move our decimal to the left. And so we would go 1, 2, 3 place values, or that's right, 2.39 kilograms. Now, if we look at this number, do we need to use scientific notation? We don't, right? There's no extra zeros before or after the number before we get to the decimal. So we can leave it as is. That's the most precise and condensed measurement. So let's do 2 liters to milliliters. Now we're moving from larger to smaller. So we want our decimal to go to the right, which means instead of dividing, we're going to multiply. Milli was 1,000th, correct? So we want to multiply our 2 by 1,000. And so if we did so, we would have 1, 2, 3 decimal points, which would equal 2,000 milliliters. Now, notice we've had these extra zeros before we get to our decimal, which isn't here, but it's implied. And so we can convert that to scientific notation. So if our decimal is sitting right here, we can move it 1, 2, 3, and since we went to the left, this is a positive exponent, so we have 2 times 10 to the third milliliters. Remember how I talked about that significant digits? We could say 2.000, but we're only using 2 significant figures in this class, so we can drop that third zero and just leave it at 2.00 times 10 to the third. All right, let's do the last practice problem. We have 35.28 milliliters, and when we're converting it to liters, excuse me. So milliliters is smaller than a whole liter, so we don't have even a whole liter here because milli is 1,000th of a liter. So if we're trying to make this larger, our decimal needs to go to the left. Remember, left larger. And if it's milli, we move it 3 times because it's 1,000th. So we go 1, 2, 3. So we're actually looking for 0.035 liters. And again, we have an extra 0 here, not extra, but a filler for space, so we can change it to scientific notation. In this case, we're going to move it 2 decimal points to get it behind the first number that's not a 0. And so we would have 3.5 times 10 to the negative second liters, because we moved 1, 2, we moved farther to the right, so our number got smaller, which means we used a negative exponent. If this doesn't make sense, or if it's getting a little confusing, go back and review the scientific notation section, but also email me and I can help you with some conversions. You'll get the hang of them over time, but it does take practice and it takes memorization of how much each measurement is actually worth. The main thing to keep in mind is your numbers don't actually change, just the place value. So if we have 532 meters and we're turning them into kilometers, we're trying to get it larger because it's kilometers, right? So it's 1,000 times a meter. So we're going to have to move our decimal to the left to make it larger. If it's 1,000, we divide by 1,000, so we have 1, 2, 3. So we should have 0.532 kilometers. Notice our numbers, 532 stayed the same. We're simply moving the decimal, so it's only the place value that changes. All right, here is the chart that is going to make your life super duper easy. So please jot this down in your notes right now. Press pause if you need more time before I move on to the next slide. But notice we have 2 M's here. We have milli with a lowercase m and we have mega with a capital M. We can't use the same one for both, right? So we have to use a different symbol to imply that one is larger than a whole number, since it's 10 to the 6th, and one is smaller, since it's 10 to the negative 3. So we use the lowercase for the smaller and the capital for the larger unit. Micro is another M1. We can't use 2 lowercase m's. We wouldn't know what we're talking about. And so in this case, we use a different form, a Greek letter, for indicating that. Nano is even smaller. That's 9 decimal points to the right. And then pico, oops, make that go away. Pico is the smallest version, and that's 12 points behind the decimal. So jot this down. Make sure that you memorize this chart. All of these prefixes will apply to your grams, to your seconds, to your meters, to all of those metric base units. So you don't actually have to memorize a new set of prefixes for each type of measurement. You can apply these prefixes to any of them. So super helpful chart to have. And remember, if we are trying to make a number or the units larger, we're going to move the decimal to the left. Left means larger, and that means you're going to divide by however much that amount is. And if we're trying to make our number smaller, you're going to move to the right. So if we're making the unit smaller, we're going to move our decimal to the right, which is getting farther away from 0, and we're going to multiply. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pause and have you do these practice ones on your own. We'll go over the answers in a second, but pause me until you have completely finished all 4 of them. All right, hopefully you have finished. If not, pause, hit pause now, because I'm going to give you the answers. And I want you to try this on your own. You will have a quiz where you have to do these on your own, so make sure that you are comfortable converting. 20 centimeters to meters is going to be 0.2. Remember, centimeters is 1/100th, so we're going to divide 20 by 100, so we get 0.2. 0.032 liters to milliliters is going to be 32, because first we have to, well, I'm sorry, not first, but milli, remember, is 1,000th smaller. So we're going to have to multiply in order to get our units smaller. We multiply, remember? So we multiply it by 1,000, which brings us up to 32. 45 micrometers, so this is even smaller than millimeters, and we're turning them into nanometers. Look back at your chart. How do you do it? That is 45,000 nanometers. And last but not least, we have 805 decameters, and we're turning them into kilometers. The correct answer is 0.0805 kilometers. If you're not sure how we got there, please contact me so